Is there only darkness between here and destiny? Tell me if you should return. This ruptured core and thinning crystal trembles rock to slithered fangs. A new form taken by the scorched liquid of a sinking depth in a convection, rising to the fullest cessation of the stratus barrier, remaining silent still in frozen pillars, breaking first to shattered rain, settling now an incarnation to begin again or end at last. We are one. From the deepest glimmer, the choice was founded, making home of relinquished bounties, simmering to a taken breath, striding forth from wakened death, a pulsating growth wrenched forth from a darkened seal, entwining with the strange exigence of a vanished shifting, a sense of completeness taking hold, conforming to this new shape's ultimate extent. A resting figment bursts the pale roots of solid conception. The stale taste and hollow light resolve into a volume of tenuous decay, to come back from chaos to order, a newborn with an old soul. In the first moments, I see only beauty, as eyes left unwet from light before now would rightly proclaim, though I didn't expect the smooth veneer to wear so quickly, as the scene unfurling before me begged for further examination. Commanding a self to move, I stand to a meager height, conscious of my simple body, the edges tempering a mind still settling in, met by the sharp sting of whipping gusts, muted by a haze slowly lifting. As the sensations gain attachment, I feel a lingering tension around my lower extremity. I look down to discern a cause. Instantly the outlines of similar shapes to my own contrast against the lay level, with one reaching out to me. The exhausted way it rested made me feel its anguish. A something turned to a someone. Was this a being I was supposed to know? Confessing to my vacant remembrance, feigning conviction in the must-have absence of time or truth, I pressed this scarcity aside as persistence claimed its dire need, asking the shadows how much time I had spent idly by, as these decrepit old bodies seemed dried beyond even rot's foul intentions, with the knowing of who I was nearly escaping me in my inconsequential slumber. Do I dare cry out? Or is the lonesome expanse disquieting enough? There certainly were a plethora of mysteries before me, with one being this fixed stone, in the nape of my hand. It was somehow the forcing of my new agency, which didn't stand to reason, but it was the only faint realization of a pain once felt and past once known. A link to a greater meaning, to an answer hidden behind this corrupted vision of a world's stifling texture. As I embarked upon the path to such sought-after elucidation, my sight wanders past my humble beginnings, glaring at the incredulous ruination of sprawling disorder, hushed long before now, lying in wait for the awakened mind to quicken its steps of cautious infiltration, standing on the mountain top of my resemblance, coasting my eyes across the scope of these wastes. I seek no end or availing continuity. The way forward was anywhere but here, which first meant down. I hurried my clumsy trek to the summit foundation to lend relief to my new form, as remaining upright on this incline turned blissful numbness into ailing of bone and burning in muscle. Though the descent stole distance from my vision, it gifted clarity to what existed below, to the bodies and the strange configurations half destroyed and run dry of thirsty brines, with metallic interstitium bruising the ground like fumbled pieces felled from the vertigo of the highest air. The fragments looked sick with the spoil of excruciating demise, the kind always granted to those wanting to live but forced to die. What ruinous power brought such extinction? Everywhere I studied, a motive fatigue. The further I ventured on, the more calamity I discovered hidden under cold ash. Another I came upon was a paradox. laying so dejected, torn by invisible licks of fire. But how can flesh burn and sear without smoke or heat? Becoming a bitter ash, breaking and drifting up like heat-born embers. It smelled like a matted husk of bloody fermentation, strained to a sickly sweet pulp. I could feel myself chewing the scent, with a jagged babbling of tasted torment, though only for a moment did this dream last, as the crumbling delusion spilled away, taunting my starving ambition, though to feel hunger was a comfort of sorts, for without further, one would have no will to press forward to satiate that need. As I turned my confused gaze upwards, the black rain of floating dust dazzled a fascination. Gasping at the breeze, I held true, wishing my feet to carry me to a place beyond these shallow borders. It seemed they knew the way, as each step felt lighter, as my surroundings filtered back from tragedy. Was I going home? Piercing through the canyon veils, through the crooked bog of wooden spires, my lungs filled with hardened strain, coming to escape of settling land, revealing itself to me at last, still torn and twisted but calmer than the harsh consuming waste stalked by fierce attrition. A respite, perhaps. I slowed, supposing I had the right to choose. This mood of ease quickly felt to pour through my fingers as the finding found a need to abstain its searching. As a claustrophobic miasma came upon me, plucking its vile instruments, demanding in its brutal way, asking me to stay or keep, drawing me in frightful quarters, an illusion bleak and full of horrors. Alas, a sanctuary beckons my dire urgency, pulling me to its broken mast, its stoop shrouding the ground beneath it, a perfect reprieve to listen and wait. Feeling mumbled threats blister in my guts, the stone in my hand began to glow a dim chartreuse, causing a fine spasm and paralyzed clench. As a gargled roar spiraled weakly, the passing met my heart. A stench of mollusks and venom molted the air, holding out my vacant stare, with a quaint spell of luck kissing my brow. The protracted presence dissolved away like a mirage, releasing me from the shackles of my innocular prison. Whatever it was, the mere impression I felt was beyond an instinct of fear, and akin to death itself. And I believe that I just spent my only chance at survival, if we should happen to meet again. The preceding was an excerpt from the work in progress by Vincent Hellis's called Obsidian. I thank you for listening to this brief exploration into the desolate and haunting world of the fearsome Vice Hell.